now I asked you this question with the steep swings, but I want to do the same thing in terms of numbers. I know most people don't have their like attack angle just like on the top of their head if they haven't been in a fitting. But what would be considered a shallow attack angle for irons and or driver?
Sure. Driver, anything I would say. Well, you have your ideal range of maybe down 1 to up 4.
Okay.
We'll say.
Okay.
Anything over that, if you get, up 5, up 6, up 7, the left side of the golf course just comes into play a lot more. So I would say that's kind of where you would qualify, like maybe 2 up or 2 shallow with the driver.
Okay.
When it comes to irons, for me, it's kind of anything less than like down 1. When you see the positive number of attack with the irons, it's
troublesome.
It can be,
Yeah.
depending on the player. But in that situation, I'm just always looking at dynamic loft of how they deliver that club.
Right. So, because for these players, typically it might only be like with a short wedge or, a certain punch shot maybe where they actually take a divot. Otherwise, they might not take a divot at all.
Yes.
And they're basically picking the ball clean with that shallow swing. So,
Right.
So I know let's kind of get into the club types here, and I guess it's a little different with driver because in a sense with driver, you chase this high launch low spin combination, and one way to do that is to hit up on the ball a lot.
Yep.
There is probably a point where it becomes concerning if you're 7 up at 7 degrees hitting up on it and you're losing control of it. But is there a driver that you've seen seems to be best for achieving that sort of high launch, low spin combination for some of these players?
I wouldn't say necessarily a specific driver, but anytime I see up, 5, 6, 7, you actually have a lot of different clubs to play with because this player is going to take spin off most any driver.
Right.
So you could, give him a little more forgiving driver that's maybe has less face deflection on if they hit one off the toe. Normally it's going to go low and left, but getting away with a little more of a forgiving, higher MOI driver is definitely comes into play for people that are up that much, which I've actually found can be, a big benefit for them, obviously, because it'll just keep more stuff in play. A majority of the guys I see up 5, 6, 7 are dealing with that big pull hook. So, a lot of weight on the toe and just a higher MOI driver has been working best for me this year.
Yeah.
Not any specific model, really.
Sure. So I think that's also, I'm sure, the really important part with drivers for these players is the loft, because if you hit up on it a lot, all of a sudden, for anybody with maybe even in like an average swing speed, sometimes like 10.5 degrees could be too much. It launches it too high, and all of a sudden you're losing some distance there, even if the spin's kind of low, right? So you want to try to find the way to maintain that, and sometimes I imagine that means trying a different loft or adjusting the hosel, things like that. But it's good to know, though, because I do think nowadays the manufacturers are doing such a good job of managing 100%. The spin rate. So like these players don't have that concern at all.
Right. And even in, your max high MOI driver spin is, very controlled these days. Right. So it's like just giving them as much spin as they can. I usually, tell them maybe a golf ball change is a good idea. Let's go to a higher spinning golf ball. Just switching from say like Pro V1 to Pro V1X on driver can add, 300-400 RPMs of spin, which on average is huge. Yeah. So, but just higher MOI drivers, typically a little lower lofted is what we're going with.